I've just gotten my Mariner to 20, and I've done it while leveling through Swan Fleet, which was a new experience for me. So I kind of wanted to talk about both the new class and the new starting zone, because this is the first new class that's been added since I started playing Lotro, and I really love Lotro so far. If that hasn't been shown enough in Mondays, I don't know what has, but I was kind of nervous about how Mariner was going to go, because I was kind of looking forward to like Corsair, right? I liked the idea of a sailor and having all kinds of different stuff there, and then when I found out that it was going to have shanties and tie those in, I got really excited because I love sea shanties, and I think it's a really cool idea for a class. It gives it kind of a different feel, whereas Minstrel is more song first and then Blade. This feels more like Blade first and then song. And some people might say, well, that sounds really boring to them, but to me, that's really cool. I like the idea of a Mariner a lot. I'm playing Red Mariner, though I have played around a little bit with both blue and yellow, and I liked blue quite a bit as well, singing more of the shanty, supporting your party a lot. But red is mostly damage focused and is very, very solid so far. It's some of the most damage that I've done at this level, and I'm really excited to see what new stuff it gets as I get higher level. But ultimately, man, Red Mariner's really, really good. I think it's a little weird that you get stuff for like the Biting North Wind before you unlock the North Wind ability, but still excited to get there. It made me really stoked to see what other stuff I'm gonna be getting. And yes, I can see the full screen in the trait tree panel, right? I can see the stuff there, but like, what else am I gonna get from leveling? You know, I'm stoked to see where Mariner winds up for me. Right now, class wise, it's pretty high up there for me. It's still nowhere near like my Lore Master or my Warden, but I do like it a lot. And I think part of what makes it so fun is the balance between forward and aftward, trying to keep up the bar and make sure that it sways back and forth like a ship, right? Which is obviously the point, while also trying to make sure I'm doing enough damage, using my blue skills to move back aftward while I'm using my red skills to try and keep getting that damage bonus from forward. Trying not to get too far in there because then I'll get stunned, while also wanting to get my finishers off. I think it's a really well done class, and in a lot of ways, early on, some of the other classes' mechanics kind of don't do much for me. Like, I love my captain, but early on, captain's extra shouts and things like that kind of aren't super awesome, right? They're not bad, and it's good to have them for the healing, but at like level 5, you don't really need all of that extra morale that you're going to get from it. Whereas forward and aftward takes effect immediately. It is something that right away I know I'm going to be using, and I'm going to be trying to balance. Early on, obviously level 5, you don't have a lot of ways to balance it. It makes this class a lot more fun, even at low levels, than some of the other ones are. I think once you get around level 15, all of the classes start to come into their own, right? Past that, everything just gets better as you go. But around level 15 with Mariner, you're doing an incredible amount of damage, all while doing a pretty simple rotation that feels fun. I really like the way that step back and feint and check step and all that ties in together with dodge to be able to let you have easy control over your forward aftward, unless you're just trying to push it. I think that in high-end content, I could see a Mariner very easily being something that I would want to play. Right now, I've been leveling my Captain, I've been leveling my Guardian, and I've been leveling my Warden for high-end content. But I could easily see myself playing Mariner at high-end and be having a blast supporting everybody. But I also think its DPS is really good. Now, don't get me wrong. With everything that I've said, I do think there are other classes that kind of exemplify what they're going for at a low level just as well. I think that Minstrel, much as it's not my favorite class to play, you definitely get the idea for the class right away, right? You have Hunter, which that is that class even at low level. You feel like you are the hero running around with a bow, taking things down, throwing traps. It's a good time. But I think Mariner captures that class balance idea really well. Of the class doesn't just need to look cool or feel fun to play, it also needs to fit its own lore, right? I think it does that really well. I love the Sail 2s as an option. Part of that is that my highest level character is a Lore Master, and I don't have all of those options, and I'm loving them on my Hunter and my Warden. But sail to Tharbird, sail to Buckland, sail to Celandim, that gives me so much more map control, even such a low level. And I'm sure I'm going to get more as I go. I'm just having a blast playing the Mariner so far, and if you were wondering if it was worth playing, if you're somebody that likes Lotro, and, you know, maybe felt like, hey, I want a class that feels a bit more fun. Not fun as in the others aren't fun, but fun as in, like, weird and cool, and you got this awesome balancing mechanic that I like a lot more than Runekeepers, personally. Mariner's absolutely worth it, in my opinion. And if you're somebody that doesn't play Lotro yet, and you're trying to figure out if Mariner's something you should come to Lotro to play, yeah, I mean, I think it's a really fun class so far. My only real complaints with Mariner is that I wish we got finishers faster. I wish it didn't take quite so long to get finisher moves. And I like the negative side of Foe and Afward being, hey, you really should have been paying more attention. You're stunned now. I didn't figure out why I kept getting stunned early on. For a little while, I thought it was just an enemy ability that was doing it. So I kind of wish it had a different visual effect so that it was more obvious. But once I figured out what it was, I was like, okay, yeah, no, absolutely. Mariner is a interesting class when it comes to your gear. You are medium armor, scale off agility, and you can use a sword, a long sword, a one-handed sword, and a dagger. Those are going to be your options for weapons. I don't yet know what the legendary items are. I'm excited to find out. I really love the legendary system in this game. But all told, I think Mariner is absolutely worth it in my mind. And if you're somebody that's been on the fence, I think you should check it out. The other thing I want to talk about in this video, which has been a little rambly, I know, is Swanfleet. Because I had not done the Mossword starting area yet. This was new to me on this character. I ran around a little bit on my Hunter here, but I didn't start my Hunter here. I just brought my Hunter here. And so I was brand new to Swanfleet and to Cardolan and everything going on there. And honestly, despite some low points in the early sections where things were taking a long time and it was balanced around, hey, go talk to this townsperson. Now go talk to this townsperson. Which I guess, for what it's worth, you could say the same thing of, like, Archette. But despite that, once the story gets going, it's really, really good. And I really love the interactions with named characters that I was like, oh, wait, we get to meet them here? That I won't spoil here if you haven't yet done the Mossword introduction. But it's really fun so far. I love Cardolan. Cardolan as a zone so far has been really cool. There are parts of Swanfleet that I don't love. Specifically the Wade Water. I don't really like the Wade Water all that much, but I do understand why it's there and what it's doing. And I think the stories in there are really good, especially the little boy that's got the orc sword and everything there. There's some really, really good stories in Swanfleet and in Cardolan. And the music is so satisfying. It is great to hear just that dun, 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 whenever I'm in there. And I'm just having a great time every time. Like I said, there's some low points. Part of going around the village, giving everybody food. Like, that was cool. I liked it story-wise, but it took a while. But you can say that for basically any starting zone. You can't just automatically start out doing crazy stuff unless you're high elves or stout axes. But that's not important here. Eventually, I'm going to do a video on, like, my favorite starting zones and my favorite, like, introductions. But all told, Swanfleet was an absolute blast. If you're somebody that has not yet gone back and done Swanfleet, I absolutely think it's worth it. Especially, I mean, yeah, you got Mariner now. You can play around with Mariner, you know? Do both at the same time. That's what I did, and I don't regret it. Let me know your thoughts on both Mariner and on Swanfleet in the comment section down below. Are you higher level than me on Mariner, and you actually hate it now? What's going on? Let me know. Do you think that Yellow Mariner is way cooler because he gets to, like, do almost like a flamethrower thing with a belly full of brine? Because I agree. I think it is kind of cooler, and I should probably just be playing Yellow Mariner. But that's not the point. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And until next time, I've been Trey. This has been The Full Spectrum. Remember to always enjoy the full spectrum. Lotro has to offer.